Today on Disaster House, we're on shaky ground.
Let's dance!
First, we host a dance competition in our living room to see who can create the most squeaks in our floor. I'll explain what causes the problem,
And that friction is the squeak.
and 4 ways to fix it.
No more gap, no more squeak.
Then, we attempt our biggest disaster ever.
Massive earthquake damage!
We lift and shake our entire house. But when the disaster goes off the rails, we're left with more damage than we ever expected.
I am not certain about this entire endeavor.
Could this be the end of Disaster House? Whoa, 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 whoa! An abandoned house, infested and marked for demolition. This is the perfect place to simulate disaster. I'm gonna show you how to prevent this from ever happening to your home. And if it does, I'm gonna show you how to fix it. This is Disaster House. Up next, our biggest disaster ever, earthquake. Find out why this force of nature is such a home wrecker.
It has to do with your house's sheer strength.
And later, an unexpected collapse causes catastrophic damage. But what happens when the entire ground shakes beneath your feet? Yep, I'm talking about earthquakes. Last year, the U.S. averaged 23 per day. Per day. Now, with all that ground shaking, there's bound to be lots of damage. When an earthquake hit the Sewell family's home in Louisa, Virginia, they couldn't believe it.
You think about earthquakes as happening out west, and so when it happened, it was a shock.
The 5.8 magnitude quake caused major damage to their home.
The way the engineer put it was that it tried to roll back into the woods behind us. So we've got cracks in every room of our house, and then there's seams on the ceiling that are cracked as well.
Initial estimates put the repairs at more than $100,000.
The whole foundation is going to need to be replaced, or at least a major part of it, and then we're going to have to find a place to live with our 6 children while this is all being done.
But in spite of all the hardships, the family is staying strong.
We're just so thankful nobody was hurt, and we are able to live here at the moment and just praying and hoping that something will work out and trusting that it will. We, don't really have a choice.
When an earthquake is shaking your house, you're probably not thinking about the science behind it. But I'm going to show you how something like that can bring your house down. It has to do with your house's sheer strength. Now stay with me here. This is your house, right? And it's built to carry a certain load, a dead load, which is a load that comes straight down, i.e. your ceiling, your roof, a snow load, anything that comes down onto your house. Now what's different about an earthquake is it comes from the ground with a lateral force. So it's moving your house side to side. Now those walls moving side to side can't handle that motion and they start to rack. Once they rack, they can no longer hold the load from above, and now later I'm going to show you a tool that'll improve your house's sheer strength. But first, I got a disaster I got to get to. We've had a crew working for days, bringing in heavy machinery, massive drills, 7,500-pound steel beams, and thousands of pounds of timber. And we're doing all of this to create the biggest disaster we've ever done. Massive earthquake damage! We're going to actually pick this house up 3 feet off the ground and shake it with a 28,000-pound loader. Then we're going to drop it back down. We're going to need some experts for this. Meet professional house mover Bill Davis. He and his crew have been picking up and moving houses for over 35 years. Tell me some of the stuff that you've done to rig the disaster house for this disaster.
Well, we put holes through the concrete, through the building, and installed steel beams. And we rolled the beams from one end of the building to the other, and then we placed them up against the floor. Then we set our jacks to lift the building.
So now we're fully supported, right? Now you get to manipulate it. What is going to be different that you're going to do today that you don't usually do?
Typically, we would lift the house all at once, but this time we're going to lift it a corner at a time and cause a ripple effect like an earthquake would. We're also going to put it on rollers and roll it back and forth and shake it like an earthquake would.
All 50 states in this country have recorded earthquakes. Take it from me, they're scary. They're unpredictable, they're uncontrollable, and they're unpreventable. They're also one of the hardest disasters we've ever tried to simulate. So we brought in Morgan Machete, a geophysicist with the USGS. He's gonna help us gauge our earthquake simulation.
So typical damage to a house like this might be knocking the house off of the foundation, and very strong shaking, you might possibly collapse the house.
And so, depending on the magnitude of it, is what you'll feel, right?
Right, so depending on how strong the earthquake is in terms of its magnitude, the materials you're on, and how far you are away affects what you feel.
What kind of an earthquake do you think, just looking at what we've got, we can shake out of our disaster house?
Well, I think, larger magnitude, probably magnitude 6 or above.
We're going to try to do some different things we haven't really done before intentionally, and everybody really needs to stand back because that house weighs probably about 85,000, 90,000 pounds.
So basically what Bill is saying is that we have 85,000 to 90,000 pounds and we have no control over it. That is the danger right there.
All right, we got cameras all over the house. We put a seismograph inside to see what kind of magnitude we hit, and the crew is ready to start lifting.
All right, so we're now up on jacks,
Yes, we are.
ready to move.
Up tight to the building, ready to pressure up and lift.
As we lift the house,
All right, it's up, we're
the
up.
crew builds up the log cribbing under the beams. It's a safety measure to protect the house and everyone underneath it if the jacks fail.
This whole house, our disaster house, is 9 inches above the ground.
Once the house is about a foot high, it's time to add the rollers. They go under the I-beams, and the whole house will rock back and forth on top of them, just like what happens during an earthquake.
So Shane, once you bring this thing back down onto the rollers, it'll just roll over it, just like a conveyor belt.
Basically.
We're gonna move it this way a little bit.
Yep. We're gonna make her dance.
We're gonna make a mobile home.
There you go.
A front loader connected to one of the steel beams will provide the muscle for the shake.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Coming down.
But before we even start shaking, we hit a big snag.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shane, what happened?
See how it failed right there in the middle?
The weight of the house caused one of the logs supporting the jack to split. And if these logs don't hold, we'll be looking at a whole different kind of disaster.
Are we still safe?
Up next, shake it, shake it. We start shaking and cause massive damage to the house.
Holy crap!
And when our disaster goes off track, we bring in our insurance expert to talk coverage.
My gosh.
You may be surprised to hear how much isn't covered. Today on Disaster House,
We have 85,000 to 90,000 pounds and we have no control over it.
we're simulating an earthquake.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
One of the columns supporting our house just blew out.
Are we still safe?
Yeah, you're still safe.
So we're doing a quick repair before we start shaking.
Just see if this holds. All right, we're off. The house is up 12 inches off its foundation. The guys put in the wheels, so we're about to roll this, make it a mobile home. We're going back and forth, 4-foot span. Shake it, shake it. Oh my God, that's so weird. It's just so weird. We're losing all that framing below, the sheathing, the siding. He's moving that thing. Holy crap!
After shaking the house back and forth a few dozen times, we've got the same results as a moderate earthquake, like a 4.5 magnitude. But that's not good enough for us.
You're gonna stop this. We're gonna do something bigger.
Bill's got 4 hydraulic jacks holding up the corners of the house, and he controls them all from the jacking machine.
So we're gonna start and we're gonna just drop a corner at a time, get a little shake.
That's right.
Okay, wait, are we safe right here?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of. If it comes at us, we just need to start heading the other way.
Just be ready. Just be ready to run. Oh, those bones are creaking. Whoa! I am not certain about this entire endeavor. cribbing pile just failed over here. House just unexpectedly slammed down. Everything just went boom. Now our house is completely messed up. We're talking about an earthquake similar to like Northridge 94 or even the Bay Area 1989, which was a 6.9.
Oh! After the corner collapses, the whole house is off its foundation, and gravity just takes over.
Just slid. Oh my God. Oh! Bonus round! The whole freaking house just slid right off the foundation. From there, it just crumbled. Just dived right into the ground. Earthquake, forget it. It's still going. This is not a 6. This is not a 7. We are in the 8s and 9s here. This is mass destruction. This is devastation. This whole thing is now just down to the ground. Disaster house is rubble.
Coming up, I'll show you how these $25 brackets can help protect your house from earthquake collapse. And just wait till you hear what our insurance expert has to say about damage like this. Today on Disaster House,
holy crap!
We caused an earthquake. And when the simulation went further than expected, the house slid off its foundation and just crumbled.
The framing pretty much stayed together and all slid down as one, and we just got parts folding on each other as it goes down the hill and lands on the bottom. Everything is just snap, crackle, pop. It's not something you see every day, is it?
Now the house is so unstable, we have no choice but to completely demolish it.
He's just gonna put it all the way to the ground, and we're just gonna watch some good old-fashioned insult to injury.
Thousands of homes are damaged by earthquakes every year. So we brought in insurance agent Denise Jansen to talk coverage.
My gosh.
And here's the sad truth.
With earthquake insurance, it is going to be a separate policy, and that's the most important thing that I want individuals to know. It is a separate policy that needs to be purchased.
Got it. Separate, not included.
Huge part. Separate, not included. Huge.
Huge.
Earthquake insurance is also very expensive because the cost to repair or rebuild is so high. And get this, earthquake insurance isn't even offered in every state. Now, you can't prevent an earthquake from happening, but there are a few things you can do to help protect your home. Here's the best one we found.
Now what we got here is your standard average framed wall, right? I'm gonna apply some lateral force.
The same sideways pressure that an earthquake causes.
Now this wall obviously had very little shear strength, so I'm gonna frame one that does using one of these. It's a hold down plate. It goes with a 4x4, and we're gonna put it at both ends of the wall.
The anchors for the hold down plate need to be set into the foundation and allowed to dry before the 4x4s are attached with the lag bolts. By bracing the studs against the lateral movement of an earthquake, you can increase the shear strength of the framing. It's a relatively simple step, but it can make a huge difference.
Now, this wall has 3 to 4 times the shear strength as our previous wall. Not budging.
Well, it looks like my work here is done. So, we'll go find another house. See you next time.
All right, people, that's a wrap. Hold on. Gotta move this. Jump on your back.
I won't go very far.
This is like those lowrider cars. All right, we got windows. Now it scares me with a motor. Okay, last thing. Does this vest make me look fat?
Not fatter than me.
You'll watch me.
It's every man for themselves.
Oops, I did it again.